Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. For those who don't know me, my name is Karmen Pevc. I am a counselor and educator. And today I want to address a very important topic that it's important for those who are parents, who are professors, educators, and in any way connected to our young people and children. Why I think why I want to actually address this topic is because of my own personal experience when I was a adolescent, and also when I work as a professor and a counselor, and I listen to young people approaching me and asking me questions, and I realize through the years how my role as a role model is important. So I want to talk to you about this topic today, and let me start with one of my experience where I'm teaching as a professor of sociology at the local high school. And I teach in the afternoon class where most of the kids are, like around 19 and 20 years old. And they are starting to think about where to go and decide on which college to go. So I totally understand them being a little bit confused where to go. So they actually need support and guidance, no matter their age, at where to decide, because I know that I was very, very confused on which college to go. So these kids actually approached me, these young adults approached me with a little bit of disappointment because they're enrolled in an afternoon class and not in a regular program like other high school kids. So they actually feel a little bit left out. And they approached me, feeling worried and a little bit disappointed, and their professors not willing to help them enough. And they had a problem of deciding on which college to decide. Am I good enough? Is this what I am, made to work in my near future, or in my future in general? And well, actually, my answer was, if by any chance you are feeling that this is the path you want to go, you have to try it. No matter if you don't have the support system that you actually need, no matter if your parents, maybe your parents are not educated enough to give you the right information, and no matter if your teachers are not willing to give you the information that you actually need, you have to actually decide on your own. But basically what I try to tell them, don't be so caught up in a situation, in that negative situation of, oh, our teachers are not helping us enough, or where to go, because this teacher will be in your life now, but this teacher won't be in your life in a year, or in 2 years, or in a decade. So you have to not think about that person, or the whole concept of teachers that you have, and you have to go on the path that you need, that you are convinced this is the right path for you. And even if this path won't be the right path for you in 5 years, you are on the learning process of learning, getting life experience, education, and only that how you will know if this is the right path for you or not. And this path will lead you actually where actually you want to go and you want to be. And I want to address here on an issue that as an educator or professor in school, or a teacher in in kindergarten or in an elementary school, we have really an important role to guide and support our kids, our young people, and to be the best role models that we can be, um, and help them. And what is actually very important, if I look back on my experience when I was in high school, I had a really, let's say, traumatic experience with one of my high school teachers that thank God that in the end I had a support system from my mom to help me get through this, because if I would not have her, I don't know how this situation will end up. And I think that this professor was not even willing to see what his actions are doing to me, or maybe to the other high school students that he taught. And as a professor, you need to, you need to be also willing to see and also be very responsible of your actions, because your action, you can get the best out of that student, or actually the worst. And I think that our role is to bring, the best out of the person. And also we have to be very responsible of seeing how our actions as an educators can affect somebody's life. Because in that situation, this situation, from my personal experience, went so far that I almost dropped out of school. And thank God that, my mom was there and she helped me get through this, that also the principal of school and also the teachers actually knew that nothing is wrong with me, that something is wrong actually with that specific teacher. Because when we went to the Ministry of School, they had a lot of complaints for this teacher, but because parents were so scared of harming their children, nobody filed a complaint against him. So my story ended up in a good note, ended up in a happy ending, because my mom helped and I went, to my fourth year, and I, graduated and went to college. But maybe if that was somebody else's life, if their self-esteem was more shakable and this person would not have a support system from their parents or from anybody from their environment, this story maybe would end up badly. So what I am trying to address this issue from also two professors, and you have the important role of helping for educating. So let's leave it aside that we all know that these generations are different, and it's not easy to educate as like a decade or 2 decades ago. But that's a different type of a topic that we will address in other videos. Excuse me, for sure. But we need to, as professors, you need to be very responsible how you act, how you address a certain issue, and what do you say to a certain young people that it's still evolving. And to also to parents, if by any chance you see in your child that something is actually wrong, because when, for example, when I had an issue in my school with this professor, my mom didn't blame immediately the professor. Oh, this professor is doing something wrong to my daughter, and he's negative, and so on. But she actually went to school, and she talked to this professor. And because my mom was very intuitive person, and she reads well from people's actions and words, she knew immediately that this professor is, not doing the good and bringing the best in students. So she knew that it's nothing wrong with me or my actions, because all the other grades that I had was nothing was wrong, and everything was okay. So she did a research, and she knew that it's nothing wrong with me. So she actually she was convinced that nothing is wrong with me, and she supported me. So what I'm trying to say to actually the parents, um, look up for your children, talk to them, because if something is wrong, there are certain signs that you actually can see, like maybe when your child is a little bit quiet, they don't talk to you, they hide in their room, they're feeling kind of sad, down, or even depressed. Try to observe them and try to talk to them and find if anything is wrong, and help them as much as you can, and just be there for them, and try to be, maybe not like, try to be their coach, try to guide them and listen to them. And in the end, of course, if when they're older, they can let them decide on their own. But when they're younger, try to talk to them, make a really good connection to your kids. Because if you will have a good connection with your kids, they will always come to you for help, and they will always seek your help and your guidance and support, because they will feel safe in their own environment. Because I always, whenever was something wrong with me, not feeling good, having any type of issues, I always addressed to my mom. Always. She didn't need it actually anything to ask me. I was like that person that always come to her, but I knew that I can. So, try to talk to your kids, be the best role models, and also be to all the educators, try to be good role models to your students and willing to help, and listen to them when they need you and ask you for support and guidance. Because I always, when students approach me, I take that something as a big compliment to me, even if it's a friend or my niece and nephew. When they ask me for help, I take it as a big compliment. So this is all for today. If you have any questions, you can write below. And if you want to subscribe to my channel, just click on the red button, and you will be notified immediately when I upload my new videos on the next topic. So see you soon. Much love, and all well to you. Bye.